How would you use it? She should tell him to leave her alone, to go to sleep, to allow her to return to her cot, to her own chamber. Instead, she reached out and cupped his cheek with her left hand, and with the fingers of her right hand, traced the outline of his lips. When that exploration was done, she allowed her fingers to trail up to his temple, then descend to his cheek. He had a very strong, masculine-looking neck. Her breasts felt heated. The nipple he touched bare because he had moved his fingers. She leaned close to him and pressed her cheek against his. In this position, her lips were close to his ear. She could whisper to him, and no one else in the entire world could hear, or would hear, or know. What would she say? For the longest moment, he didn't move. His hands remained on top of the counterpane between them. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Do you guys have any questions? Blah, blah. Otter. Did they? Awesome. Thank you for purchasing from the bin or the shop or the bookmarks. Thank you. We're going to keep reading. With an acute sensitivity she'd never experienced, she seemed to know exactly when he began to move, exactly where his hands were, exactly where she wanted them to be. She experienced him. She expected him to place his hands on her breasts, to cover her nipples with his palms, to trail his fingers over the swell and curve of each breast. Instead, his hands went to her shoulders, and he pulled her back, staring into her face. It was his turn to cup her face with his hands, and he did so gently, so slowly that she almost implored him to quicken his pace. She lowered his mouth to hers, and for the first time, kissed her. Her mouth opened in a gasp of surprise. At first, the kiss was tender and soft and delicate as the petals of a newborn rose. Then, startlingly, it grew heated until she was almost dizzy from it. Finally, the kiss was done, and she leaned against his shoulders, breathing quickly. His breath was as harsh as hers. The pulse beat at his throat, so rapid that her fingers soothed over his skin in an effort to calm him. They've done this before. I'm just assuming. He leaned back to study her. She sat up, her back straight, her chin raised, her attention direction on the far wall. Let him look at his fill. She was not cowed by his such behavior. She would not be intimidated by his earthiness. Perhaps it's good you don't know how exquisite you are, he said softly. His hand cupped the heaviness of a breast. A thumb pressed delicately against a nipple that had grown shockingly sensitive to his touch. You should have led the men in London a pretty chase, Lady Sarah. Even if she'd wanted to comment, Sarah doubted she had the capacity to speak the words. Her world was heated. Her blood felt as if it were on fire. With deft fingers, he smoothed her hair back over her shoulder until it was tumbled down her back. What glorious hair you have, he said. Why do you insist on braiding it? Because it would take me 2 hours to brush it free of tangles in the morning. If I didn't, she said, grateful that her voice sounded nearly normal. But then I would have the pleasure of watching you brush your hair. Do you ever do so naked? This guy likes to see people naked. I'm just saying, this Sarah chick must be pretty decent, guys. Sarah must be pretty decent. I wish there was a. Oh, there is a picture of Sarah. Oh man. Okay. She turned her head to look at him. Of course not. I'd like to see you in that pose, he said. Now? She asked, astonished. Why not? You can't sleep, and after seeing you half naked, I doubt I'll be able to either. He lit the lamp on the bedside table. She bent her head. Serendipitous. That's not a word I know. Spreading her hair over her breast. Must I truly do this? Do you not wish to? Part of her wanted to slide back time itself to the moment she'd known he was in the bed. Another part, dormant until now, was very interested in what he proposed. Too interested, as a matter of fact, and almost excited. She stood, keeping her left arm across her breast, and with her right hand gathered up the folds of her nightgown, keeping them at her waist. Come sit here, he said, indicating the end of the bed. She sat and looked up at him. What do you want me to do? She asked. Her heart was beating so furiously she felt out of breath. Her lips felt full, almost swollen, and her skin so sensitive that the touch of her hair across her shoulders was almost painful. We've been at this for a half an hour. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm gonna pause for a second, drink some water or a soda. How's everybody doing tonight? There's still 8 of you here. Melissa must have ran away. Or Marilyn Russ. Here's the part of the book I didn't read. They're not actually married yet. We get to that like somewhere in here. I think that's the page I missed. Yeah, drop your questions. I'm gonna try to remember where I was. I moved my thumb. Anyways. Do my buyers send me love letters? No. No. That would be kind of funny though. If my buyers sent me love letters, that would be. I mean, I'll put them on to the side. I hold on to them. I think it's cute sometimes. I mean, did you mean to red chat that, AJ? You're writing me one now? I appreciate that. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, we buy my glass and stuff though. I do sell a bunch of stuff. I sell glass when I can find it. Down here, I haven't been able to find it. I do a seller support show on Wednesday mornings. It used to be Saturday or Sundays, but there's too many raid trains on Sundays, and I wanted to not take away from the raid trains. So I started doing my talk shows or my seller support shows on Wednesdays now, and we co-host other sellers, get their opinions, get what they're doing. Try to get new sellers some follows, stuff like that. I think I'm getting really close to 100 raid trains, and then I said I was going to start hosting my own raid trains. So I think the new year is gonna run me up, and I think coming into the new year, I'm gonna be a conductor of raid trains. I think that'll be really fun. Also, we have more books for sale. They're in the shop. They're in the buy it now. There's 32 books in there, I believe, maybe 16. I don't know. It was a long day when I was putting them in there. But if you guys have any questions for me, if you got questions for me, answer them, or I will answer them. I also like to hunt things down. So if you have an item that it seems to be impossible for you to find, I'm the guy that finds it. I don't know how I find it. It just one day happens to fall in my lap, and I'm like, oh look, so and so was looking for this. Now I have it. Now you can have it. And I don't ever rip people off. I never go. That rake book is tempting. That rake book was very fire. The marmalade coffee maker. What? I don't have a marmalade coffee maker. Lori can shop. We're just getting into the nipples and the boob touching. Hi, Lori. I'm going to get back to reading now. Okay. Marmalade coffee maker. You're gonna have to send me pictures of what you're wanting. There's no censorship here. It is story time. Brush your hair as you would every morning. She shook her head. I haven't my brush. He moved to the burrow and returned with his silver-handled brush that fit into the palm of his hand. My maid assists me, she said. Shall I be your maid? He asked. No, she said, reaching for his brush. Slowly, she began to pull the brush through her hair gently, beginning at her temple and continuing as she reached the end. As she brushed, Douglas reached over and clasped. I should have just kept reading. Now I'm all out of rhythm here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Slowly, she began to pull the brush through her hair, beginning at her temple and continuing until she reached the end. As she brushed, Douglas reached over and clasped her left wrist, gently pulling it away from its shielding position. She glanced up at him, but only smiled and shook his head. But he only smiled and shook his head. A message. Then, without a word, it was pointless to ask him for a little modesty. Her left hand flattened against the cupboard, and she closed her eyes, tilted her head back, and concentrated on brushing only her hair. She attempted to ignore him. That was made more difficult when he spoke. When you raise your arm, your breasts rise, almost as if they were soliciting praise or a kiss. She slowed the pass of the brush through her hair, kept her eyes closed by force of will, all the while wondering if he was going to kiss her. Would he put his mouth on her breasts? If he did, what would she do? Arch your back a little, he said. And she did, knowing that the pose made her breasts stand out even more. Was that his breath she felt? Your back is beautiful as well, Lady Sarah. Such a fine line, such a sweeping curve. I can barely keep my hands from you. Dear heavens, stand up. She opened her eyes. Please, Sarah, stand up. She did, gripping her nightgown with her left hand, the brush in her right. She kept her gaze on the far wall, but out of the corner of her eye, she could see how close he was. Slowly, as if giving her time to acquaint herself with the idea of it, he reached out and gripped her hand, gently forcing her fingers to loosen the grip of their nightgown. Do you want me naked, Mr. Easton? She asked, frantically reaching for the falling garment. Yes, he said. She's sorry, guys. Hey, Soul to Soul. How are you guys? She stopped in the act of bending over. You do? What sort of idiot do you take me for, Lady Sarah? It is my earnest desire to have you naked before me, second only to having you naked beneath me. She was naked in front of a man she'd never been naked in front of anyone. A screen was always remained between her and the fjord. When she bathed or removed her underclothes, now she was standing naked in front of Douglas Easton. And he was smiling. Smiling. Turn around, he said. No. His smile was crooked and his gaze traveled to her face. No? No, she repeated, bending to grab her nightgown. This must stop right this minute. She had allowed herself to go beyond the boundaries of proper behavior. And it really must cease this moment. Besides, if he continued, he would want to bed her, and she wasn't at least a bit prepared for that. You have a magnificent derriere, Lady Sarah. Sarah held the nightgown in front of her, well aware that it was a spacious covering at best. Still, she kept her back stiff and straight as she walked to the cot and settled herself beneath the sheet. Only when the light was extinguished did she allow herself to imagine what bedding Douglas would be like. And that's the end of chapter 10. Should we keep going? We got some new people in the chat. How are you guys doing? Oh, Lordy. Yeah, we've juicy chapter, lab chapter 10. This is sold to a laird. So why is she in the cot? She's a very modest woman. And she thinks that from reading other chapters, she thinks it's weird to be with a man that she didn't know because he was gone on an adventure for a year or something like that. And then he just came back in chapter 10 to start the conversation of wanting to see what she was cooking, I guess. Yeah, if you need to know more, this is in the bin. It's a buy now. $2 for this goodie. They are courting, yes, I guess. I think that's the sold to a laird part. Because Douglas is somebody. Hey, Brittany. Should I keep going? Is that what we should do? Oh, man. I don't know what this next chapter brings. How's it going? It's not going terrible. I just read an entire chapter. I haven't read a book in, probably 20 years. So this has been fun. Are you still living with the ghosts? I think we're on good speaking terms now. Yep. When they flicker the lights, I just ask them what they need, and then they go away. So that's kind of weird. But it works out. I still have 3 cemeteries by my bed, or 4. 4 gravestones by my bed, but they're outside and I'm inside, and we just keep it that way. They are friends now. I'm very comfortable in the house. They're quiet for the most part. Who's all still here? There's 8 people still in here. Everybody say hi. I want to see who's all still here. Oh, the dates on the graves are 1867 and up. I stay at home to shop. Hold on. That was a real question. Have I ever done a house tour? What do you mean? Elizabeth, what do you mean, have I ever done a house tour? Oh, yeah. Haven't seen your new place? It's a mess right now. I'm trying to switch from my 1 bedroom to the master bedroom, and then so we're in the middle of stuff, and all the lights are off because I'm doing this romance crap. That's outside. She wants to see she wants to see the boudoir. Soul to soul, you're gonna have to Snapchat me if you want to see my boudoir. Okay. I have a little leopard skin man thong I can do for you. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. Oh Lord. Oh shit. But we could keep reading. Like right outside the window, I'll show you guys if you guys come back to my if you guys come back, AJ distracted me. If you guys, oh man, I need a soda. Where are we at? You're gonna make me blush. All right. If you guys come back, Lunaloo, we can start chapter 11. It's a soda. It's a water. It's a pop. It's a pop. It's a Coke. I don't care what it is. It's beverage. I like it. Don't forget about Minnesota Roots. Yeah, I mean, I think this next chapter is a little cleaner than the last chapter, but you came? Do you need a towel? Is that the right? I didn't know what you meant. I was like, I forgot to put towels in the buy it now. Sorry. Am I selling towels tonight? You can use my shirt. I don't know. All right, chapter 11. Damn it. You guys, you're done typing. Okay, technology. I'm done talking because I can't with you. So if you guys come to my seller support show in the morning tomorrow, I'll show you guys the gravestones. One's a baby. It's kind of sad. Sarah met with the home steward the next day. Since it was an even year, the crops had been rotated according to the schedule put into effect by her grandfather. The 11th Duke of Harwich had made Shavensworth famous for more than its lavender fields. Thanks to him, the farms. See, it takes me a minute to get back into the reading. Well, more than its lavender fields. Thanks to him, the farms that had begun as an experiment were now successful. If it could be grown in England, it was grown at Shavensworth. Jeremy Beaker was her home steward, a post he'd held since she was a little girl. His face was long and narrow, his nose thin. His eyes looked too close together. I read that weird. His eyes looked too close together. When she looked at him straight on, it always seemed that he was slightly cross-eyed for that reason. She always sat at his side of the table in his office. He was a man of advancing years and frail for his age. If the stooped shoulder
I've left this shut. Yeah. Okay.